Well, hey guys, hi, it is Brent Abel, WebTennis.com, back here with the answer segment to this episode of What's the Right Shot? And let me slow-mo this thing through to where we stop the question portion of this episode, which was, right about in here. And I stopped it here and I asked you, what do you think is the best volley, the best shot that Brian should play? The legendary Brian Cheney, or what shot you would play out of this situation. And I would say most players pick this spot in here, and I think this is the ideal spot for this. Knowing that Brian's a little bit stretched out on this, which many of you pointed out that he might have sort of reacted a little bit early on this to get stretched out. I don't know. Who's to argue with him? One of the all-time great age group players, and so. But that's what he ended up doing. I think some players said, just play it back down here to my feet. I think that's a good play. And then other players were saying, get over here to Frank, my partner Frank Zebo. We had one person say, take this and lob it to the corner. I think if Frank had been much tighter on the net, that would have been a possibility, a lob volley. And I think one or two players said, carve it over here. Which, I think if Brian is a little bit better set up on balance, that's a possibility. What ends up happening here is Brian plays his volley back to me. And I think his attempt here was to get the ball down low at my feet. And, I've played the chip and charge. I've come in, and now I've got a backhand volley. So, I suppose what I could have done in this episode is stop it right here and ask you, what's the right shot that I should play? What shot would you play in this situation? And I'm betting that, 99.9% of you would have said, well, just play it back in the middle. Just play it back in the middle between the two guys. And that's what I do. And we end up breaking Brian. This is the first game, the third set in this match that we played. Frank and I played against these guys in the quarters of the National Indoors recently. And, we ended up playing really well in this third set. In fact, I should probably post the whole third set for you. And we ended up winning this match 6-2 in the third set. Whoops, hold on for 1 second. Let me back this up. I want to back this up to show you a couple things. Number one, I had a lot of questions on this chip and charge return to serve. And some of you had said, there have been some recent episodes of What's the Right Shot where I'm chipping and charging. And there's one thing that I really want to point out in terms of stroke technique, especially on this backhand chip and charge, is that the first thing you've got to do, and I mentioned this in the question segment a couple of days ago, you've got to get a full and total commitment to a shoulder turn here, because the slice needs to come out of this alignment. If you're not completely committed to a full shoulder turn, meaning that if you decide that you're gonna, because this is an Aussie formation, and I just don't think that Dan realistically can cover over here if there's a poach going on. So I'm going to go ahead and set up for an up the line return. But if I only get, let's say, turned this much, where I'm kind of facing in this direction here, my natural backhand stroke technique wants to go right back to where Dan is. Obviously, I don't want to do that. So I've got to really make sure that my alignment is where I'm looking over my front shoulder, and I've got to hold that alignment as I'm making the shot and trying to move in. This is not a perfect example of being able to play a real chip and charge where I've early committed to this. In fact, let me take this back. I know I'm kind of rambling here. I want to take a look at where Brian's serve hits. It's pretty deep. This is not an easy ball to, probably would have been easier for me to flatten this return, but I'd already committed to the slice and just trying to get it up the line and then move in. So, blah, 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 technique-wise on that slice backhand chip and charge return to serve, make sure that you get the shoulders committed all the way. And then, on this volley, backhand volley, all I did was just kind of hold my position and just commit to that spot between them. So guys, right below the video, let me know what's on your mind. And as always, get out there and make it another great day.